Welcome, guys, to another episode of Doing's Corner. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing a very sensitive topic, something that most of us suffer from, but we don't even know. And the topic is parental styles and childhood trauma. The thing is, there are a lot of us that are going through, that have been through childhood trauma, and it's affecting the way we live our lives now, but we don't even know. But I'm seated today with the famous Daniel Rega to discuss this topic, and hopefully we agree. Amen. Hopefully. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, hello, doing.
How are you doing?
I'm not looking bad today.
I'm not looking bad. I never look bad. What do you mean? You're not looking bad.
Sometimes I just know the enter but you look good.
That's
today.
not true. That's you, Daniel. That's you. Don't.
Signs
don't.
of parental trauma.
They say childhood trauma. I said that parental trauma.
Childhood trauma, all of them. All of them
Okay,
join.
so let me kickstart
Yeah.
this topic. I've never agreed with the way African parents raise kids.
I kind of agree.
You agree?
To some extent,
Okay,
yeah.
you agree with me. Or
I
you
kind of
with the way they
agree.
raise
I kind
kids?
of agree with the way sometimes our parents, Nigerians, I'm not going to use African, because I don't know how the
Okay,
African
yeah.
context.
Okay,
now, how
true.
Nigerian parents raise their kids.
Yeah.
I like the fact that there's some kind of like discipline to it. Like you do anyhow, they're after you. I'm not going to say yes, smack your children consistently, but I feel like sometimes that kind of like coming for you kind of give you that kind of brain reset, because I think nowadays parents of nowadays are too soft on their kids. They'll be like, oh, don't flog my kids. I don't want to punch my kids in school. You have to like discipline these children, because otherwise these people will overstep.
I don't agree to be. I agree that we should discipline our kids, but I think there are different ways. Are there better ways to discipline children?
In what way?
Apart from beating kids,
I
think
am not
taking
saying
away-
beat. I am saying
that's why
I am
no,
not saying
For Nigerian parents, there's one thing that they do that we all know. How
Yeah.
many people can say that their Nigerian mother or their Nigerian father did not give them one kind of beating at some point?
But
in
is
their life?
but sometimes that, but
I
I'm not
don't
gonna,
agree with
but
it.
that
I
beating
don't
sometimes
agree
that
with
beating
it.
sometimes
I
I'm not
don't
I'm not
agree
going to
with
say
it.
go full commando mode on your child, but that beating sometimes is kind of justified, because that sometimes children kind of like behave abnormal.
See,
You understand?
I'll say this. I think there are different. There should be different forms of parental upbringing with different kids, depending on the child. There's some children that don't need so much. There's some children that are very easygoing, that maybe you just talk to them. There's some children that are very,
Yeah.
very stubborn. But I genuinely believe that beating a child the way Nigerian parents
Don't
beat
say beating,
children,
say smack.
beating.
Smack your
This
child.
one, Nigerian parents don't smack, they beat. We've seen, are you joking? We've seen videos where a father is saying, all in the name of discipline, you are using belt on that child, or you're not disciplining your child, you're abusing your child. A lot of Nigerian parents are abusing.
I think sometimes
and they don't even know. But the thing is, I don't think they know
sometimes
better. I don't think
they know better. Listen, they
A
know
lot-
better.
a lot
There's
of
a
our
limit. There's a
parents
limit.
don't know
Listen, there's a
better.
limit to which a parent can also take. There are sometimes that if I'm not gonna lie to you here. There are some parents that in every family they have the disciplinary parents and the one that just like everything goes. You understand? If, for example, now maybe the father is the one that if you do anyhow, you collect belt immediately, or they take slippers and change and follow
throw
you.
you.
You will understand that if my dad is coming back, everyone will kind of like arrange, let everybody just settle down. You understand? Oh, my dad is coming back. Everybody that is by the window.
But that's bad. Is
It's
that
not bad. It's good.
That's
It's
very
good because
bad.
because it's
That's
kind of
very bad.
it's good in a way because it kind of reinstate that fear. Because like I said, parents of nowadays are very, very soft. You understand? You see parents in school. Your child did something bad in school. The teacher maybe take his cane, for example, and like open your hand, I flog you, I do this, or maybe the teacher just smack the child for being extremely disrespectful for no good reason. And the parent will come out and start complaining to the principal or the owner of the school. Don't touch my child. If you do anything, complain to me at home. If you cannot discipline your child at home and your child bring that kind of disgusting behavior to school, that teacher should be able to like put that child in his place.
I have a question. How many children have they disciplined in their houses? And we still have a lot of Nigerian youths that are badly behaved. Even with the way their parents are beating them and use cane to cut. I don't think that beating a child.
There is.
What
Listen,
you do,
I am
what
not.
I
I am
think
not
beating a
saying.
child
Listen,
does to a
I am
child-
not saying.
What
I am not
my
saying.
God.
Auntie,
Daniel, you have to learn how to let
wait,
people
auntie,
speak,
because
you have to
you
learn how
want
to
to
let-
you
you have
want
to
to
learn how to
no
let
you want to
people
impose your
I'm
opinion.
not imposing.
You are.
Okay, state your opinion, and I'm going to let you speak. Then I'll speak.
Okay,
I
listen.
to
What I
give
want
the
to
floor.
say is a very simple thing. I'm not going to sit down here and be like, oh, because from what he's trying to say, I think from what he's trying to say is like when you are like disciplining your child, you're like using like belts for instance, or maybe you're using slippers or turning Gary, you are abusing your child. It can come as abuse if you overdo it and if you don't know your limit as a parent. Sometimes these kids, you have to like use kind of like iron fist on them for them to understand that whatever you are trying to like teach them is for their own benefit. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, children of nowadays have very, very little respect. Because I've seen people talk to me anyhow. People that are like 4 or 5 years. I'm like, you they're crazy, they're mad. And I'm like,
Do you think the
who
beating
raised
is,
you?
Do you think the beating is going to stop that child?
But you can caution that. Listen,
What I think beating
Okay,
does
speak.
to a child is it hardens the child.
not all the
That's
time.
what I think it
For
does.
not all
For the
kids.
most part, I think that's what it does. I think it hardens. I'm not against you.
So how do you
No,
discipline a child?
it's okay to say, kneel down and bring out your hand and give the child 6 strokes of cane on their hand. It's okay to say, lay on the floor and I'll give you 6 strokes of cane on your bum. But to beat a child all over their body to the point that, the cane gets in their eyes, okay?
That's
all
not-
in the
that's not
process
what
of
I am
discipline.
saying.
That is what
That-
we're talking about the way
That is not what I am
Nigerian
saying.
parents
That is not
raise kids.
justifiable. That is
It is
that is
not
abuse.
just, it is abuse.
That is abuse.
That is
That
not,
is
that
abuse.
is not
But
disciplining the child
sometimes,
at all.
no, that's abuse. But there's sometimes that when you want to even be like, kneel down, bring out your hand, let me flog you. You see these kids being disrespectful, and I know that sometimes emotion can run high.
Disrespectful, how?
I've seen people when they tell them like kneel down, they'll be like, kneel down for what? I have seen when I was in school, right? There are people that teachers cannot speak to.
And that's teachers.
I'm
Okay.
It's part of discipline for
Okay.
whatever you want to call it. So if they can be that disrespectful to teachers, you can imagine
About their
imagine how they
parents at home.
talk to their kids. So there's some people that their parents cannot talk to. And another reason is I think I won't say it's part of upbringing or the kind of parenting that the parents use. Sometimes we have the kind of like you can raise your child, for example, you can raise your child very well. The person will be obedient, blah, 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 blah. And when they get to school, they get exposed to different things, which I want to bring another issue of, I think, boarding house and day school. No matter how you want to discipline your child, no matter the parenting system you want to use, these things have so the kind of like influence or impact on on children. You understand? So I'm not going to sit down here and be like, don't flog your kids or kneel down and open your hand, because at the point they master those things too. It'd be like, oh, they're not highest. My mom will just tell me to kneel down and I will flog you.
Exactly. That's the thing. So you are hardening that child. You're making that child hardened to the point that even when they flog the child, it's because it's not just cane. But there's a way you will speak to a child, or there's certain things you do, like taking away things that the child like really, really
Like
likes.
what?
Like maybe you have a son that is obsessed with game, and you
At
tell
what
him,
age?
you know what? At whatever age.
No, I'm
At whatever
no.
age, I don't
Do
know
you
what
think- do
age
you-
that
do you think-
you
do you-
take away their game, you take away things, tell them to sit in their room for a whole day. You are not coming out, you're not hanging out with friends, you're not,
That is for rich.
tell
That
them-
is for rich kids.
it's not for, that's the thing, you see?
No, that
You
is
see?
if
You said
some,
that is for
no,
rich
that
kids.
is listen.
How?
People that are poor that cannot afford to have game. How do you discipline them?
Tell that child to go and frog jump on one spot. Tell that child to do Okada, whatever, on one spot. Tell that child to kneel down and raise up their hand on one spot. Things like that would discipline the child. But you don't have to beat a child to the point where the child now becomes a goat. And the child now say,
We are
no
not.
be-
Listen,
no be
I am
just
not
beating.
saying. I am not
No be
saying.
just-
I am not saying.
don't
I am not
agree-
saying.
I don't agree with
I am not saying
beating a
beat your child like a bat. No.
I don't
What I am
agree.
saying is that kneel your child down, use cane if possible. Discipline that child. If it comes to the point that when your child feels like there are some kids that feel like they have authority over their parents, and you feel like it's not and you want to use belts, just make sure you know what you're doing. You understand? Because
Why would you use belts to beat a child?
I am
That's
not
wrong.
Listen, I am
In
not
any
when
way
I am
you
not saying
speak
use
about, I
iron
think that's
belt.
wrong.
So I
Any
am not
form of
listen.
Belt
They are-
was
listen,
not belt. Your child is not a prisoner.
but people
Your
use
child
but
is not
people
a
use them.
hardened
But people
criminal.
use whip.
Why
People
would you
use
use
whip.
whip to beat
No,
your child?
but I think I don't know if I'm correct, but there are some military personnel that kind of use whip.
Yeah, military personnel, they use it for strangers at home. You are talking about a child. Somebody that is still living with their parents and is still under that age where you can beat them is still a child. Why will you use whip? Is that child a goat?
Why be saying another form of
No, I feel
listen,
like
I am not
feel like
saying
a
I am
lot
not
of
I am not
Nigerian
saying I
parents
am not saying use the whip and wipe your child's back
don't
to
use a
pieces.
whip
No,
on
listen.
the child at all.
Listen.
Don't use a whip on
when
the child
I don't
at
know whether it's,
all.
I don't know if maybe it's the whip I'm talking about. I'm talking about that long whip that look like what they use for horse. So no, talk about this small thing that look like maybe different rope attached. I will call it. I don't know if it's whip or not. But what I'm saying is that if your child fucks up, you treat the child fuck up. You understand? My parents, my mom, for example, have beaten me to a point. I'm like, which can beat him with this one? I almost started cussing her. But at the end of the day, I think that was one of the things that even till today, that's something that I want to do. I'll be like, no, it makes no sense. You understand? I have seen when I went to the boarding house. I have seen people when we enter boarding house, you will see all kind of people. Everybody will bring their little good behavior. If you want to copy. You understand? Your parents will not be there to guide you all the time. But there are certain things that my parents did when I was young, when I was even small, that I'm like, this is my parents said it was wrong. I am not saying I didn't copy some nonsense from other students, and they also copy some nonsense from me. But it kind of like guided me in a way. Even when I entered university, I knew that I would be home early. I know I was not going to go out and start doing all these things that people are doing, because I felt like I had that discipline enough to come into me. You understand? But there are people who feel like they had that free pass at home.
No, the fact that you're not beating a child does not mean that that child has free pass.
But
that I keep telling you that if you tell a child to do that, or what's that?
It does not. Let's be realistic. It does not work all the time.
So are you telling me
it
that
does not work all the time?
Then if it is by beating a child, then Nigeria should have the most well-behaved youth. And we don't.
Yeah, you don't understand
because
what I'm
most
saying.
of us were beaten when we were young, but we still find a lot of people misbehaving. A lot of people still cannot behave themselves as adults now. So are you, if truly that beating of the beating the child is that, significant, is that efficient in terms of raising kids? By now we should have in fact, there should be no reason for traffic light on road. Everybody should just be,
I am not. Listen, when I say when you say beating a child,
what I would say is
when you say beating a child,
if you use whips or you use belts on your child, if you don't know, you're an abusive parent. That is not disciplining the child. That is just being an abusive parent.
Our mothers are used to Gary, the abusive parents now.
I feel like our parents.
Yes or no?
I feel like they didn't know better.
They knew better.
Most of our parents were abusive.
They're enlightened. They're enlightened.
Most of our
parents you won't call it abusive.
You won't. They did not know at the time that it was wrong.
No.
I hope that they know now.
You won't call it abusive. You won't call it abusive. Because listen,
you know what that does to a child.
What does it do to a child?
You explained that, okay, when a child says, daddy's coming, you have to behave. That's not how you should behave with your child. Your child should not be scared that daddy's coming. You are running to the room to go and sit down.
It is not scared. No,
your parents,
it is not scared,
madam.
Madam, it
should be where you should be most comfortable.
You are comfortable there. Listen, when I mean daddy is coming, everyone is running or panicking or whatever it is. You know that there's a place I'm supposed to watch. I've not watched this plate. There's I'm not arranged my room. So you know that daddy's coming. He may look into all these things, and I don't want to get smacked for this thing again. So let me just put it in place. There's somebody that when the parents are coming, what about the plate? I'll watch it later, Joe. People make that kind of statements, because you feel like you can tell your mom or you can tell your dad, I'll be like, okay, don't worry, watch it too. Make sure you watch it. But when you know that you're supposed to watch this play by 6 p.m. or 6 p.m., I am not watching that, you know your dad is going to come. And when your dad comes, he's going to get upset. You don't want to have that. You don't want to be the one to take that hit. You understand? So it's not as if like your dad don't love you. I think when people be like, my parents is beating me, he doesn't love me. No. He loves you enough to correct you.
I don't think that they know. I don't think they're doing it from a place of I don't love this child. I think they're just doing it from a place of ignorance, to be honest. I feel like a lot of our parents did not know better.
Me, I am not ignorant.
And that's why new generation parents, we need to do better. The things that we wanted our parents to do for us as kids, we need to do them for our children.
By pampering your child anyhow. Because
that's
what parents are doing now. That is what parents are doing now. No, listen.
First of all, see, the two options are not pampering your child and over disciplining your child. There are different things in between. There are different ways to discipline your child.
Parents of nowadays are over pampering their children, which is why teachers are very scared to whip a child these days. It happens.
I don't want us to make it seem like as if it's just whipping a child that is a form of bad parental upbringing. Another thing that I think that parents do that is very bad is
comparison.
Not even
for me, that's another thing. Comparison. Yeah,
that's also something that's not even what I was thinking about.
Okay.
But should we discuss comparison?
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like no, that's very bad. A lot of parents will say, "Hey, see your brother, he's passing in school, he's doing this one in school."
Yeah.
But look at you, that's very wrong.
Not everyone is bright.
Yeah. Not every child is not the truth.
Not everyone is
every
meant to
child
go to
is
school.
going to have straight.
Definitely.
No, I don't agree with that.
Listen.
I believe every child should go to school.
What I mean by not every child is academically gifted to be in school. There are some people that are just born to that they excel in trades. Let's not kid ourselves. If you know your child is not excelling well in academics, let's say you didn't force the person to go to science or go to. I think most of the time parents kind of detect. I want you to be go to science or go to whatever department. If your child is not doing well in school, sit your child down. If they have some kind of a craft or a skill, dancing, they are passionate about music or whatever, help them nurture that talent. It is better for them than for them to waste their time being in school, struggling to get grades, and they don't make those grades. You would come and start doing unnecessary comparisons. Look at your mates getting A or whatever.
I agree with you that parents should observe their children and notice the talents that their children have and harness those talents. But what I don't agree with you with is that they should not allow those children finish school.
No, you don't
I
understand.
believe that.
No, listen.
See, get
Some
your
people are
degree.
not just bright.
Get your
No,
yes. Even
that-
whether
listen,
you can help
some
the
people
child.
are not-
You can give the child extra help. You can get extra.
Even
teacher,
with that extra
you can
help,
you can
listen,
help,
I'm not
but
gonna-
no matter what, that child should
Listen,
finish school, get the degree.
Education
first.
is very important.
You can be doing
understand?
the two at the same
Education
time.
is very important.
Is
It's very important.
non-negotiable.
It is not negotiable. But at the same
Yeah.
time, some people are not blessed in that department. No matter how you help them, some people are not just good in spelling, for example, and you
Yeah.
cannot be helping them to spell. Some people are not good in memorizing things. Some people are not good in mathematics. Some people are not good in English. There are other things that are good at. Some are very, very good at handwork. Some people, that's why some people when they go to SS3, they'll be like, I don't want to go to university. I want to.
No, I don't
skip."
agree with that. So you must go.
If
to
you listen,
university.
if your kid
must.
genuinely tells you as a parent, I don't feel like I want to go, and they are telling you with all honesty, and you feel like, yes, this person I've been struggling through academics. You've tried, you've put in every effort. Just let them be.
Nah, I don't agree.
I will tell you because
I don't agree.
that's
If you have to force
no,
that child,
you cannot.
if
That
you
that
have
is the
to
thing.
force that
That's the
child
thing.
to go to college and get that degree, please do. Because
If
let
they
me
cannot
tell you
excel
why.
in the-
whether you can excel or not, because education is beyond the degree you get out of school.
But you need
Wait,
the
Daniel,
degree
please
to
let
come
me
out of
land.
school.
Daniel, let me land.
Land.
Education is beyond the degree you get out of school. What
Okay.
education does for you is that it opens up your mind to the possibilities that you can provide to the world, to the value that you can. Education does more than just, oh, you have gotten this degree, you have gotten this job.
Yeah.
No. What education does to your mind, I don't think people. That's why there would always be a difference between an educated person and an uneducated.
Okay, let me
person.
ask
There
you
will
one.
always
Yeah,
be a
definitely. We're not
difference.
getting that one.
Always.
I'm not getting that one.
So
Now-
no matter what, no matter how dull, you can find extra help. You can.
That's what
I
you
don't
are not
agree
getting what
with-
I'm saying.
What I don't agree
You are not
with
getting what
is
I'm
that
saying.
the parents should be talking down on the child when the child.
You are
is
not getting what I'm
passing.
saying. There are
But they
some
can
people
find
that
help
even
for
with
the
extra
child.
help, you understand? There's some people that even with
I would
extra
rather that
help,
child keeps getting 0, 0, 0 every day. till
then
you
you're not
finish
helping
school.
the kids.
You can be
Because
learning the
there's
trade.
because
You can be
no,
learning
you
the
cannot.
trade. You
You
can be
cannot
learning the
because
trade while you are
no,
in
you cannot
school.
because
You can be
because
doing
when
the
you are
two.
forcing a child to go to school, you know that this child is not, he or she is not good academically, right? You've tried everything. The child have put in so much energy. I want to go to school. I want to be like my mates. Do you understand the kind of negative impact or even trauma that comes with that? You are putting your effort. You are still coming out last in
So
class.
the best
And
thing
yeah,
is for
listen,
the child to
I am
drop
not.
out.
I am not saying drop out. If you feel like your child have told you genuinely, mommy, I think I want to do something else with my life. You right? You want to go into, for example, thank God for education nowadays. You can be like, you can be in your 40s and still feel like I want to pick up education from now and I want to go. So it's not only that you must be like, oh, your mates are going to school in 22 years old. You must go to school first, come out then pursue your passion. Because I think what that one Nigerian parents do. They'll feel like go to the school first, come out. Then if you have passion and not even all passion, you cannot tell your parents that I want to be a dancer. Nobody want to. Most parents don't want to listen to that kind of thing.
No, I feel like parents need to listen to that because there are a lot of people that are making waves.
That was
from their talent.
what I was
Yes,
coming
but
from
what I
before.
just
What
feel
I
that
am
you
saying
can
is
do
that
the two at the
no,
same
you
time.
can't. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Neglect. Don't drop
I
out
am
of
not
school.
saying. I am not saying genuinely let your child drop out. No, but if you feel like your child is not excelling in this thing, there are other kind of schools. School is not go to school, pass maths, English, chemistry, and blah, 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 and Greek. You understand? There are other there's dancing school, there's catering, for example. Now you can finish your JSS, SS3 or JSS3 and be like, I want to go into catering, get my diploma or whatever they give there, and move on to your life. You must not go to university and get all the degree your mates have before you start pursuing your dream. That's what I'm saying. If your child gets to like SS3, for example, and he or she feels like, Mom, I think I can do better. I don't want to.
Trading.
I am not. This is not my calling. I want to learn trading. I want to enter Opi Weka. I want to enter what do they call this market? This big market in Lagos. Help me out.
Wait, but Echo.
I don't know if it's Echo. I want to enter. That is when I want to start doing stocks. I want to start selling.
Me, I don't agree
You
with
understand?
that.
You can feel like
I believe that
you-
even if you want to do that together. While you're in
That's
school.
what I'm trying to tell
During
you.
your
Not
midterm holidays,
everyone.
you can do that.
If
But
it-
we've spoken about education.
I have seen people that when they're coming out, when they are kind of like coming out second to, because the time when I was in school, they'll be like, parent teachers come out and be like, oh, let's talk about results. Who came out first? Those who are always to stand up, hey, clap for him. Who came out second? Who came out third? Who came out fourth? Who came out fifth? When you start getting to 15, you start seeing the shame to come up. Now imagine when you are the one coming out last every time. At a point, even school, we the students at that time, we have this kind of very negative way of talking. I know better now.
I know.
Be like, that one they always come out last. You understand? We used to crack jokes.
Yeah.
Those things have some kind of negative.
Of course. I get where
You
you're
understand?
coming
Which
from.
is why some people feel like, I don't want to go to school. I've tried my best. It's not working out for me. I want
get
to do
where you're
something
coming
else.
from, but I feel like they're saying things we cannot control. Children saying all sorts of things in school. There are things we can't control.
Yeah, but
for
that's
me, no matter what, even if your child is coming last, get them remedial classes, find a way to talk to them, find whatever.
That's what I
but
am
let
saying.
them
If you have
finish
tried,
school.
everyone is
Let
not
them
academically
finish
bright.
school.
That's the simple
But
thing.
that's one part. That's one part, right? The part I was going to speak about that I feel like is one big mistake that parents make.
Yeah.
A lot of parents, Nigerian parents especially, they feel like your children should fear you. I don't think your kids should fear you. I think your kids should respect you. There are two different things. There's a difference between fear and respect.
Your kids cannot
What
fear.
fear-
Your kids cannot respect you if they don't fear you
Bullshit.
enough. I am telling
What?
you. I am telling you.
Oh wow!
Listen.
Wow. No, this is
listen.
not true.
This
I think that your kids they can respect you without necessarily.
Not in
fearing.
Nigeria.
What fear does?
Not
what
in
fear
Nigeria,
does,
auntie.
which is the bad, and that's the problem with Nigeria.
Not listen.
That's the problem in Nigeria. Your kids should not fear. Your kids should be able to come and meet you and talk to you about anything, even though they have respect for you, because they're not scared of you. Because if a child,
That's a different entirely.
yes, it's only if your child is not afraid of you, I can come and meet you and tell you, oh, mommy, this boy tried to touch, this boy kissed me today, oh, this boy touched me. But if your child, some children are so scared of their parents that they cannot even come and wait now.
Okay,
some
finish,
children are so they're so
auntie.
scared of their parents that they cannot even come and meet their parents and say, mommy, this is what I'm experiencing, and there's this teacher in my school that always comes to open the toilet when I'm, peeing in the toilet, because they're so scared of, hey, how will my mom respond? She, my mom will not call me this. They cannot even come and discuss that. There are children that cannot come and discuss, oh, okay, mommy, this, I'm about to have sex for the first time. I just had sex for the first time. It didn't feel. I feel like there's no
At what age?
conversation. Of course, not at a young age. Now, if your child is like 18 upwards, do you understand? There's certain things your child should be able to come and talk to you about, because it's either they're getting that advice from you or they're getting
Someone
it from
else.
outside.
Yeah, which is very risky.
If it's about drinking, if it's about, of course, I'm not saying that sit in the house and be smoking with your child, but if it's about drinking, if it's about sex,
That's
all those
another
things,
thing I want
those
to talk about.
conversations should be had
Because I
in
think
the house
but
first.
when you come to parenting style, I think we've talked about discipline the child and this and that. We've not talked about how parents also impact negatively, like allowing your kids use smartphone at a very young age, allowing smoking, partying, or those kind of nonsense things people do.
You can restrict, if your kids are using smartphone, you can restrict the things that they see. You
So-
can put like parental block on. There are things you can do with YouTube.
How-
like
how-
put parental block
is it
on
only
certain
YouTube?
channels or whatever.
These days, you don't even need
But
to
you
go
know,
to YouTube.
smartphones also help children. It also helps them. Like it helps them to build their mind.
I don't even
also.
think it's even right for kids. Anyone, when I say kids, I mean like kids, not like adolescents or people that are enlightened enough to have access to smartphones. I don't want to put the age to it, but I feel like, because even now when you be like, I want to put YouTube, like parental control, whatever, you don't even, these days you can just carry your phone and you can be playing one kind of just friendly game. Boom. I am Marian from Lagos. And you see all these things. It pops up.
There are a lot of
A lot of nonsense
apart
adverts.
from that, there are a lot. I remember I was seeing.
You
this
can
thing
even
on
be
social
googling
media.
something.
There's this cartoon that I was seeing on social media where the cartoon characters were saying the cow was obviously a male cow. It had like beard, but the cow was saying, "I don't identify as a man. I am a woman. I am." I don't think that our children should be exposed to all those kind of things, because that's why your child will grow up and say, a grown man will say, "I don't identify as a man. I identify as a woman." I think there are things that you can shield.
Your kids should not even have access to the internet as a whole.
Until what age?
I don't want to put an age, but I think like I would say like from the age of like let's say 12, 13. When I mean internet, I mean your kid should have access to, like, if you want to get your kid a smartphone, get your kid you can use the smartphone your kid should be using now. Should be like, maybe there's an emergency, you want to call your mom, are you coming back, blah blah blah, something's happening. I don't think your kids should be having this, like, I see parents giving their children iPhone 15 Pro Max, iPhone 14, and Samsung. This is not a way to bring up a child, because it has negative impact. Minus the fact that they have access to the internet, you are exposing them to things they're not ready for. You should be able to train your child to the point that give them the knowledge that everything doesn't come for free.
Right.
You get, if your child finishes secondary school, or maybe does something, and you be like, going to gift them something, like maybe after secondary school, be like, oh, you've tried, I love what you did in school, this is for you. That's a different kind of time. Not when your child is celebrating an 8 years old birthday, you're going to go and buy iPhone 15. Carry. It makes absolutely no sense.
I think somebody on social media
makes no sense.
bought his son a Rolls Royce. It was a car.
In Nigeria, yeah.
Momfa, I think.
Nigeria,
yeah. I don't think it's Nigeria.
It makes no sense. Even abroad, it makes no sense.
I don't think it's in Nigeria.
It makes no sense.
But that's how some people feel like if they have it like that, they can do it like that for their kids. There's a question I want to ask, but I would come back after the break for you to answer the question. What age do you think parents need to start discussing sex education with their kids?
As early as possible.
We need to go on a quick break, and we'll be back after the break. Welcome back from that short break. We're still on the topic of parental styles and childhood trauma. So I asked a question before we went on break.
Yeah.
I said, at what age do you think parents need to start discussing sex with their kids?
I would generally start there shouldn't be like a time, like a particular age. I feel like it's a conversation that should be had repeatedly over and over again. But I feel like the most important time to have that conversation is when you feel like your kid's about to hit puberty or they already hit puberty. Because I think that the time people have this sex drive or whatever. And I still feel like there's one thing people kind of like when you talk about sex, they're like, one word or the other, these people are going to like have that knowledge one word or the other. So I feel like as a parent, even if you are strict, like I keep saying, it's not about how you discipline your child. I can still smack my child, for example, like flog you, correct you, use words or not abusive word, like tell you things I feel like you need to hear in a very harsh tone. Because sometimes you need to use that harsh tone or that forceful tone to so the person will know that how serious you are, because it's fact. But when it comes to things like I want you to communicate with me as a parent, child to parent relationship, I don't want to feel like because of I kind of like push you around to some extent, or I feel like
You can't talk to
you
me.
can't talk to
But
me.
that's the problem. You can't have your cake and eat it. If you are
No, but it
smacking-
happens.
if you are beating a child,
Yeah.
you're always shouting at that child. You cannot now say, okay, yes, I know I beat you and I shout at you and I push you around, but still come and don't fear me. It doesn't work that way.
It does-
And I don't agree with you that it's when the child is hitting puberty that you start discussing sex. I think from as early as when the child can understand, you start telling that child, if somebody touch you here,
No,
it's
no,
wrong.
that one is
Don't.
no.
My nieces now say, kiss on the lip, no. Kiss on the cheek, yes,
Listen,
yes. Kiss on,
like I
you
said,
teach
I
them
said,
small,
listen,
small
no,
like that.
I
Do
said
you
that, I
understand?
said there's no particular age, but I think that the time when this conversation should be more enforced, you understand? Because I understand we have people that go after young kids
Yeah.
and whatever, but I think that when this conversation should be more like
I think it should be enforced from the beginning.
from the, but it's not,
From-
it's
from
not,
when
it's,
they are
no,
small.
no, you
Start
can, no, you,
talking to
you
them.
can tell, no,
the
you can tell
the thing
them.
I'm trying to say
Yeah.
is a lot of Nigerian parents, they look at sex as, I beg you, don't talk about this thing with your child, but you are doing that child a disservice. It's not. It
No,
should.
you
Sex
can
should not
reference
be
it.
even. Sex should not even be a conversation that should be. We in this world, in this
No,
Nigeria,
especially this era
in
we
this
are
Ni-
now.
we
No,
act
just in
like
this world.
not in the
Like a
world, in
taboo.
Nigeria, it's like sex is a taboo. Like we're not all doing it. Even for grown children, like for children that are like 17, 18, 16, we don't want, nobody wants their kids to start having sex at 14, 15. But the truth is, usually if you ask most children, they'll say I start having sex at 14. I think that's wrong. I think that's too early. But because of the fact that there's that possibility that can happen, you need to start having those conversations on time. Telling that child, you know what, if at all it happens, use a condom. What a condom does for you, it prevents you from getting diseases. If you get this disease, there's no cure. You know, have those type of
it's easier said than
conversations.
done. It's easier said than
I don't
understand.
think- I don't think it's easier. I think
you
it's
cannot
very
just,
easy
you
to
cannot
have
just sit
those
down your kid
conversations.
at the age of like let's say 12 and tell them if you want to have sex. I know it's not. I'm not saying you should have sex,
No,
but
I
if you
would
want to
tell
have
the
sex,
child, don't have sex at this age.
but
Don't-
if you
but if it happens and you find yourself in the midst, and this, I want you to protect yourself. I want you to be able to come back and talk to me and tell me,
do you know,
Mommy,
do you
this
know,
happened, Daddy,
it's
this happened.
easier for you
I
to,
want
it's
you to be
easier
able
for you
to
to
say
say
things.
this thing now, but you have to like kind of like look at how the kid will kind of interpret this. Okay, mommy said I should not have sex at the age of 13 years old, but if I want to have sex now, I can use condom, and I'll tell her that I use condom. You know that it's easier said than done. When you say this to kids, you may be coming from the like, okay, I want you to protect yourself. That kid may look at it like you're giving permission now to
No,
like
you're not
have
saying.
sex.
I'm not saying I want you to protect yourself. I'm saying, babe, I don't think you've gotten to the age.
That's what
where
I
you
am
should be having
saying.
sex.
That's what I am saying. But if it eventually happens, and maybe for one reason it happens, like you said, kids are already
It
having
is
sex.
the way the conversation will go is when you eventually decide
That's
to
what
have
I am
sex.
saying. Some will look at it like this is a permission from mommy.
No, I don't think so.
That's what you would think.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Imagine.
I don't think so.
Imagine telling a kid now, someone that is high on sex drive, like, oh, I don't think it's, for example, like a guy, and I don't think it's don't have sex, is blah blah blah. I don't think it's right for you to have sex at this time. Wait, this and that and that. But eventually, if you feel like you want to have, or the thing eventually happens, let's say at the age of 17, 18, please make sure you use a condom to protect yourself. I understand where the parents is coming from, but the kid now may be like, well, mommy or daddy have given me the okay. Like I can, as far as I use condom, when the time comes, I didn't do anything. I didn't overstep, or like I can like speak to them without feeling ashamed of it.
Right.
I understand where the parents coming from. Like, I need to protect yourself because whatever happens, it's also going to reflect
Yeah.
on me as a parent. But that kid can like be like, oh,
So would
he
you
has given
rather
me the
not have the
permission.
conversation at all?
I
You
am
still have to have the
no. You
conversation.
have to have the
At the end
conversation.
of the day,
You have to
conversation and you
listen.
will pray
You will
that
have
that
to have the
child-
conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't think I myself. I don't think I will be like I'll tell my kid when it's time to like when you're a kid, not when you're an adult. When you're an adult, the conversation is kind of different. You understand? Because I know that when you're an adult, you are kind of responsible for yourself. You get to some point. I will still have whatever happened as a blame as a parent, but I feel that when you're an adult, you should be able to take care of yourself without even me telling you certain things.
There's something I saw on social media. There's a man that takes his daughter every time to check if the daughter is a virgin. Do you agree with that? Like takes his daughter to the hospital for them to check if the hymen is still intact. Do you agree with that?
I don't think personally I don't think it's something good to do.
I don't think it's
I
good.
think it's something good to, I think you should be able to trust your child enough if you've like educated your child to the point that keep your virginity intact for
Yeah.
whatever reason, abstain from
Even
premarital
if
sex
anybody
or
must
whatever.
do that, I don't think it should be the father, maybe the mother.
Not
Maybe
even the mother. Not
Why
even,
are you
not,
taking your
I
child to
feel
the
like
hospital to check if the hymen is still intact?
the only reason
And
why you should take your
I think
child,
that
I
that's
think the only reason why you
unnecessary.
should take your child to go and check if her hymen is intact is maybe if you think like a raper for call, like
Yeah.
for like examinations for to be on the safer side to make sure that you make sure that your child was not sexually abused or used. So you can like want to reconfirm certain things, or maybe there's something that happened that your child feel like maybe I just want to there's something wrong with me. You can just from there to check okay
Right.
maybe what's causing this thing.
There was-
But it doesn't make any sense to me
There was
personally.
something that came to mind. Another thing that I feel like Nigerian parents don't do enough, and it causes so much trauma to these kids. A lot of adults they have fucked up childhood. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to talk because of how they were raised. Parents don't listen and apologize to their children enough.
Yeah.
I think parents need to learn how to apologize.
That one is
It's
in every. I think that one is
important to
in
learn how to
almost
listen
every
to your-
family.
yes,
Almost every family.
almost every Nigerian family. It's important for you to learn how to listen to your child and tell your child sometimes, I am sorry. I made a mistake and I am sorry. It doesn't mean that you're not the parent.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away any respect from you. It doesn't mean that they will not still respect you. But when your child feels heard, there are a lot of children that turn out to be very aggressive and they can't even talk before the next they don't they throw punch, because they were never taught how to speak calmly to their children to their parents. Their parents never taught them that okay, you can have a conversation, you can sit and talk about things. Everything they resort to is violence. Once there's any small thing they want to fight, there's a way you would talk to your child and you will listen to your child, that your child will understand that okay, sometimes we can talk things out. We don't have to always
it also
fight
goes
about
both
it.
ways.
And also there's sorry, you're going to say
Yeah, it also goes both ways because there are some kids that find it very reluctant to like admit they're wrong and apologize to their parents. I feel that some people that want to be like, I want to stand on my ground, especially when the parent. I've seen so many videos that have circulated around the internet. I've seen people do it personally when you know that maybe your parent is trying to tell you what you did was wrong. I don't stand for it, even if they kind of like get emotional about the whole thing. Maybe like it results to smacking, it results to because we can sit down here and pretend like it doesn't happen, but sometimes emotion gets the best of us.
yeah.
Even when you are wrong, I think it's still even if your parent have overstepped in a way. In a much
There are
like,
ways to say
yeah.
it to them, of course.
they always say that, and I feel like you still have to like tell your maybe when everyone is calm and everyone is thinking straight. No verse, just straight. No verse so for it to happen. Now mistake, you understand? I think parents want their kids to like make that first step so that I myself can admit
But
I'm
it shouldn't
wrong.
be
It shouldn't be
that
like that, but
shouldn't be
it
that
shouldn't
way.
be like but
There are sometimes
but
that our
if-
parents are just point blank wrong.
definitely that
They
one
should be
we
able
should
to
not
say,
yes, definitely.
I'm sorry, I was wrong about the way I spoke
But
to
I
you.
think
So
the way parents
I-
the way
our
parents do their own is that they won't tell you I'm sorry. They'll just find a way to like start doing things
But
you
that's
like.
wrong. That's wrong.
And we have accepted
We should be
it,
able
you
to know.
understand?
It shouldn't be that
I
way.
know,
We should be able
but-
to say
but-
I'm sorry
No,
as a
but
parent.
it is still better than not even apologizing at all.
and some parents they're not physically abusive to their kids, but they're so verbally abusive to their kids.
That is the one I don't
They are
tolerate.
so as in
You
it is
understand?
horrible. Their
Or
parents
they-
are saying,
God will punish
because
you.
Stupid child.
Eh,
Do this. By the time you
animal.
call your child a stupid, there's some parents that won't be because they're angry. You prostitute. You look at you, open your breast. They will sleep with you. They will rape you. They're saying things that shouldn't come out
Negative,
of your mouth
and those
to your
those are the kind of
child.
things that actually lead to trauma. Not even I think the smacking on people can kind of overlook it. You understand? A child can grow up and be like, okay, I understand why my parents smacked me, but when it comes to that being verbally abusive, there's no how you can just because there are some things you say to your child, it sticks.
It will stick.
You understand? Even when the
Yeah.
child wants to be like, oh, I love my parents, it just keep ringing.
Yeah.
How can my mother say this kind of
There's
thing?
a
How can
way
my dad say this
there
kind of
are
thing to
people
me?
that literally go as far as calling their children, you are a failure, maybe because they're not doing well in school or whatever. You are a failure. Look at you. Under no circumstance should you call your child certain names, because you are their first point of contact to this world.
Definitely, but
They
when
have so much faith, so much belief in you. If your mother is already calling you a failure, somebody outside will call you a failure, and you just feel like, well, they don't call them for,
no, but
for house anyway. You
sometimes
believe
I'm not gonna. But sometimes let's not kind of like make it a point blank bad thing. There are some things that your child will do when you reference that word, you're a failure. It doesn't look as if you're abusing your child. It looks like you are saying something that is obvious. Like, for example, if you train your child, for example, and these people that maybe kidnap or do this nonsense, you can just say you're a failure to society. It's obvious true.
Wait, to the child? Under
If your child is constituting a nuisance, like public nuisance, like let's say armed robber.
No, that's a different thing now. That's an
okay,
extreme case.
okay. Let's say
And usually that's not
okay.
a
Let's say
child
the
that's
child.
doing
Okay,
that
let's say
role.
the child is a prostitute, right? Let's just say a prostitute. Maybe it's not like open prostitution, but you know that your child, that you know between the parent that your child is doing hookup. If you out of emotion, if you feel like, look at you, you're a failure. Maybe you're trying to drive a message. You can be doing better with yourself. You're literally a failure now. You can look at it like.
I still think there are better ways to say without saying
better,
I failure.
If
I find
there
out
are
that
some
my child
ways.
is doing hookup, I will sit that child down, and if I want to maybe slap the child here and there, it's okay. But like, I'll sit that child down and speak sense into their head.
It is not everyone that wants to sit down.
You calling that
and
child a
have
failure
sense.
is not going to stop them from.
I am not saying. Listen,
the only thing
listen.
They will just not tell you
I am
about
not
it
saying.
again.
I am not saying that you should just sit down your child and call them a failure. But there are sometimes that when parents make certain references, because we ourselves, for example, I maybe like these people they behave like person when no train for us. You understand? There are certain ways you will say it. It all mean the same thing. You are failing me as a child. Maybe the way the parent communicated doesn't make any sense. It's not acceptable. But you should also understand that our parents coming from a place of hurt. So when he says you are a failure, it doesn't mean that maybe I hate you or something.
I think before you talk to your child, you need to sit and gather your emotions together.
It's not every time.
Every time.
My
If
sister.
you can do it for your partner.
My sister, it is not every time. Even for your partner, it's not every time.
It's not every
there are some things that your partner listen. There are some things your partner will do.
You should cultivate that habit.
It is not easy.
Every human being should cultivate the habit of gathering their emotions.
It is not easy. It is just
they speak.
Madam,
because that's the only way you can control what you say to that child.
In this Lagos, for example, now, right? You know how people drive recklessly. Most drivers. You cannot say someone enter your front now. You will not wait and cultivate you where you ought to speak. Even if you have wind down. I'm not saying it's right, for example, but that's you emotion plays a part. You wind immediately. Wait a worry now. You throw one or two words. You wind up. You understand? You may later start regretting what you've said. But it's not easy. Like you have to sit down every time. That's why parents sometimes they overreact. You made something now. Maybe they may start like, who do this thing for you? Before you know now, maybe the way the child will just answer anyhow. Because sometimes we ourselves will answer anyhow. We won't know if we are being rude. We'll be like, not be here. That thing now is a disrespect because on the norms, maybe me myself, I will not say if a stranger comes, I will not answer a stranger. No be here. Over familiarity now, I have stepped in. And that time I'm like, no be here the day. Which now today I started to put up for you. That way now your parent will be like, why you being disrespectful?
On the spot, yes. You can
understand?
correct, you can why you been don't ever talk to them like but not
It
that
is
you say,
not-
oh, you stupid child.
No, I am not saying. But sometimes our emotions get the best of us.
Your
Because-
emotions
because-
should not.
because-
You should try your best. You should
listen,
try.
we can
That's
try
all I'm saying. All
we can try our best.
All
But
we can do is try.
it's not every
We are
time. It
human
is not
beings, of
easy.
course. We are human beings.
is
There are
not
times that
easy.
we'll speak out of emotion, but when it happens, make sure you are able to go back to that child to say,
And apologize.
I'm
That is the-
sorry
that is
I
the
used
place
these
Nigerian
words
parents
on
fuck
you.
up a lot.
Yes,
You
I'm
understand?
sorry I spoke
That
to
is
you
the
like
place
this.
they don't
This is
even-
what
oh my
I was
God.
trying to say to you. This is what I don't think that Nigerian parents understand the amount of damage they cause to children.
Honestly.
We end up raising kids that don't understand anything but violence, don't know how to communicate, don't know how to a lot of kids, their parents have talked them down so much that they can't stand up for
Yeah,
themselves.
definitely.
Like
That
when
happens.
somebody starts talking to them, they just automatically get scared and they cannot stand up
They
for
internalize
themselves
whatever the
outside.
parents said.
Yes.
So even when it's coming from a stranger, it means nothing to them. Because
I'm telling you,
my
yeah,
mother and my dad
my
already
mother
say,
and my father have already called me
what's
this
going to
now.
assign me?
So what's the
Even sometimes
difference?
in school, when I was in school, people would be like, no be first talker. Now here and so my mother talk before now. You understand? But it's not. It now kind of become like a normal mantra for them. You are good for nothing. You are not this, you're not that.
A
You
normal
understand?
thing.
It's not right. But even as at that, it's still there for the kids to know that because there are people that have been raised in very poor homes, in very
And they still
tribe. They
Yeah,
know
but
that
not everybody
it's not
can do
everybody.
that.
But you
Not
cannot
everybody can do that.
and there's some people that have been raised in very good home, and at the end of the day, they turn out to be nuisance. It's like, you
True,
understand? So it is
very
not.
true.
So at the end of the day, you cannot kind of like
At the end of the day,
pinpoint trauma
yes, you
directly on the
cannot-
parents.
You can, no, you
No,
cannot.
you can
No,
better
but I'm
yourself.
not saying that
Yeah.
you will say it's the parent that caused it, but I'm saying parents
They contribute to it. Yeah, they contribute to
a
it.
lot. There's something else that I don't know if you would agree with me on this thing, but I hate it when I see with kids. There's nothing I despise more than seeing children speak pidgin at an early or
Which can talk be that
a
one?
2-year-old child. Wait, 2-year-old child come and say, wait till you they do for the
I beg, madam, sit down, Joe. Say,
no.
Pidgin,
Why is
listen, your
child
children
speaking-
should learn pidgin from young. Which one be
Can
say?
you imagine?
Which can talk be that
Can
one?
you imagine?
Well, okay, if your parents, so are you trying to tell me now? Are you trying to tell me now? No, are you trying to tell me now? Are you trying to tell auntie?
My mama tell me say make I come.
Are you trying to tell me now? What did you talk about yourself?
No.
Are you trying to tell me now that kids, for example, should not speak the native language, maybe Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, or whatever, at a young age?
I'm not saying they should not speak it.
What are you trying to say? Because
I'm
listen.
I'm saying that they should learn English first. That's what I'm saying.
Listen.
I'm saying that because when they grow up, except in your mind, you are thinking that the only way your child will grow, your child will not grow past.
Am I not speaking English?
Your child not.
Am I not speaking English?
There's certain English is different from English. There's certain ways you will speak English, and another person will speak.
It's
English.
not important.
I promise you. There are certain rooms.
Listen, no one cares.
Daniel,
as far as you can speak, I come, I go.
Oh,
it's
wow.
good. No,
Can you imagine?
you are trying to bring in accent into it now. You're trying to bring in accent into it.
I hope you don't.
You're trying to bring in. What are you trying to say?
Diction.
Forget diction. As far as English is correct, you're good to go. So you're saying because of diction now, my kids should not learn how to speak pidgin or break pidgin English. What are you trying to say? Listen. At the end
I'm
of
going
it,
to let you speak so you can let me speak.
okay.
I need to
No,
pass a
speak
message.
first. Speak your English first.
I really, really hope that parents understand that if your plan for your child is to grow beyond the country and go to like foreign countries or Western countries where English is the universally spoken language, it's important for them to be able to not just communicate in English, but communicate in a very good diction. There's certain rooms you will get into that just the way you speak is what commands respect for you. There are people that will hear you speak alone when you're giving a presentation about something. You and somebody can come and give a presentation, and just your delivery alone is what will get you that job. But if that child started his life with speaking, "Mommy, waiting you they do, waiting you they," it somehow affects their English. Please don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I am all for you. Hold on. Don't get me wrong. I am all for you teaching your child their native language. I'm all for you teaching your child can understand pidgin for them to be able to get along on the street, whatever. But you see, English, what English? So sometimes
English.
Where your diction, where your spoken English can get you to, you have no idea what it can do for you.
Really?
There are brands, I'm telling you for a fact, there are brands that have come to me just strictly for the way I speak. Not because I'm smarter.
Good for
Some
you.
people are smarter than me. Some people, but there's a way your delivery is that it commands respect. It sounds like you sound more confident than you actually
No, I'm
are.
happy for you.
So it's important
it's good.
that you
It's
raise
good.
your child so that there was a video that Instablog posted, and that boy was in the supermarket saying, "Daddy, me, I go carry this gun. No, now waiting me." I couldn't watch that video today because I'm like,
Because
what
you speak pidgin.
what is a 2-year-old child speaking like this for? It's okay to speak. I speak pidgin, but why is my 2-year-old child telling me, "Wait, I go carry this in your I go, no. That's distasteful. That's distasteful.
Well,
I would even rather that child is speaking Yoruba than speaking. Do you understand?
Then you see why you're not making any sense.
I'm not saying.
Do you know? You see why you're not making sense because that Yoruba now, not everyone can speak Yoruba, but everyone can understand pidgin. Do you understand? There are sometimes that when you step out, your child will not only be in 4 corner room of school. This is Nigeria. You will enter street. Listen, listen.
You don't listen to
madam.
understand.
You just said it is better. So you are okay with a child speaking Yoruba at 2 years old.
No, I'm not. Actually, to be honest, I take that back. English.
You see, you're never correct.
English.
You never know what they stand for.
English.
But listen, let me tell you. I have also seen people that they didn't even do anything. They just came up, speak whatever English they spoke, and people just clap for them because they have money. That's one thing. Wait. Now you came with. You are saying that you are saying
somebody that doesn't know your financial background, somebody that does not know whether you have money or not, and is just going based. Sometimes it's even a phone. Sometimes you are doing like phone interview, right? It's not even.
Definitely.
It's not even virtual. They're not seeing you, but just the way you speak.
Do you know?
There are a lot of customer service jobs that people would employ you for just because of the way you speak.
Very well.
There are a lot of
and
sales
people that will still
roles,
like you because of the way you speak
marketing roles.
pidgin.
Nobody can.
What are you even saying?
If you're going to work in corporate, if you're going to work, you never know where your child is going to. If you're going to work in corporate sector, the way you speak matters.
What you will say is,
have you ever worked in the corporate? Because you sound like you've never done.
I never worked for corporate sector before.
That's the problem.
I'm not sure I will work there. But listen.
That's the problem.
Forget problem. Listen. if you're growing up, because you cannot control what your kids say, right?
You can.
No,
can.
if I'm in my house,
In your house,
if
your
I
house,
listen,
that's
madam,
your
wait
house
first.
is the
Listen,
first-
madam, wait
that's your
first.
house.
Let us be truthful with ourselves. If I'm in a house now, let's say I have a partner, and for whatever reason, na pidgin with the knack. Because normally at home, na pidgin with the speak. Who has to be speaking English every time one partner? We speak pidgin, like my house now, we speak pidgin most of the time. How far you see that thing where you don't buy that bread, don't buy that what we used to communicate. We speak English normally, but pidgin most of the time it flies. So I cannot say because of I have a 2-year-old kid now, I should start checkmating. Or my friends come to my house and I'm like, don't speak pidgin here. I have a 2-year-old child. Speak English, because kids speak up. Let me talk. Kids speak up whatever you learn very quickly. If your kid is in school, or your kid's not even in school, and you want them to learn English, fine. If they can speak pidgin, they can speak pidgin and they can speak English. When they grow up, they can still decide, I want to correct my English. I want to like take diction lessons.
Do you know that your diction forms from when you're a child? Before you even...
Auntie,
it's not about... You cannot learn...
People,
all my life I've been pronouncing church as shush, it is difficult for me to correct it as an adult.
People are
What are
better
you talking?
themselves.
When
What are
you
you
can
talking
correct it
about
as
for
a
you?
child. When
People are...
This conversation has taught me. This conversation has taught me that we're all from different backgrounds, obviously. But I would say something to you, and I know that the people that would hear my point of view would hear my point of view. If you're comfortable with, you rather your child understands pidgin more than they understand English, then you can sit at home and banter pidgin with your partner all along. And your 2-year-old child, all they hear in the house is, you they crazy, you they mad. And when they go outside, they say,
why are you the Christian
Let's not
mad?
use insults. If the only thing your child is hearing every time, you go chop. Yeah, never chop, and you would rather your child goes outside at 5-year-old.
There's nothing but listen, madam, forget that thing. There's nothing but listen.
That's the problem. The fact that
listen.
Let me tell you something. If you are, it's because we're on this podcast.
It's nothing about this podcast. I'm telling you realistically.
Daniel,
Don't me invite English.
It's because we're on
And
this
they tell you how it happen. If you go outside, I have met people's kids. People that are from rich background, I've seen many of them. There's this break. I'm telling you, you know what people I don't meet. You know people I don't meet.
They can speak when it's time. Maybe they're speaking pidgin.
Then they break pidgin English and they can still speak.
But when they want to switch to the English,
everybody.
Okay. That's all I'm trying to make sure. I'm not saying don't speak pidgin. I'm saying that when you want to
which kind of
speak,
English is not clear, because you kind of reference.
there are certain people's
you kind of reference. Yoruba dialect now.
Even the example I wanted to give to you based on this setting. You see, every time I would speak, you say, "Madam, that's not even the right way to talk to somebody."
Okay, let's say.
If you sit in the midst of people that are proper people that are controlling things, you cannot tell somebody, "Madam, hold on." No. You would not say that.
Auntie, listen. Auntie, wait first.
That's the thing.
Well, not yet. Listen. Let me tell you one thing. Hold on. Let me tell you something. We're about to round up. Let me tell you one thing. Let me understand.
Hold on. No, hold on. We're not going to move forward because I'm not going to stop for you. It's actually something that you do that is wrong.
Okay, don't worry.
You need to learn how to let people stop speaking so that you can speak.
You said it before.
That's the only way.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but you didn't hear it.
Yeah, I have heard you now.
And you know what?
I don't hear you now. No, don't cut us. No, don't cut us. Hold on.
Because it's bad communication. Somebody cannot be
Auntie,
speaking.
Wait, let me clarify that thing. Madam,
that's
wait.
wrong.
Madam,
that's
wait.
wrong. First of all, don't call me madam. I'm actually serious. Don't call me, but you know my name.
Okay,
my name
don't you wait.
Exactly.
Okay, don't you wait. Wait, madam, don't you wait.
You're not going to speak. I'd rather we don't do this episode.
Don't you wait.
If you don't
wait. Hold on. Pretty wait.
Yeah.
Listen. The reason why I'm able to communicate with you the way I communicate with you, because I think I have this kind of familiarity with you. I will not go outside. Most time if I go outside, people are like, "Oh, you're so quiet, you're this." I'm like, people don't know me. I'll be worried for it. When I'm comfortable with someone, I can like speak the way I want to speak. Which is why I can like when my style, I say, "If hold on, make I tell you what I want to tell you." Understand? If I'm without, if this is the first time I'm meeting you, or maybe we're not close, for example, this is just me, for example, I will allow you to speak. You understand? But I feel like what we're discussing here is more like. I feel like I'm having kind of like one-on-one conversation with you. So it's not like...
I get that.
You understand? I understand. And at the same time, if I'm not comfortable with you, I would just be like, let me just keep myself cool. You understand?
I get that.
So I'm sorry you're coming from here. I get to let people speak.
I get where you're coming... Okay. I get where you're coming from. But what I would just say is this. It's not about being comfortable or not. I'm not against children speaking pidgin. I'm not against children speaking Yoruba or Igbo or whatever. But my point is you never know where your child will grow to. Like your child can be that person that is delivering speech on behalf of Nigeria to foreign countries. And
so
you don't want that child to be
speaking pidgin in 2 years. So listen, you're bringing diction into it now. You should also remember that
accent is different from diction.
Everybody cannot speak out of everybody, Auntie, I am
accent
not.
and diction are two
Miss
different things.
Miss Doing, I'm taking a version now. You cannot always say even there are some people that even with the whole good background or whatever, you understand, good educational background, proper upbringing, that diction is still there in a way.
Accent,
And people,
you mean? Diction is different from accent.
I
That's what I'm
know.
trying to say.
They have this. I think
Yes,
they say
that's
this
accent. That's accent, not diction. Diction and accent. Diction is the way you pronounce things, like the way you deliver. Was action accent is like when Yoruba accent enter or Pidgin accent. Like, if
But you know
somebody
that
will say,
that can still affect the diction
what?
with the way you pronounce things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying now. The way you pronounce things affects the way you deliver things is what your diction is, the way you speak. Accent is where your another language starts interfering in your English. That's when you say this person has an accent. But when you say it's diction is just the way you deliver, like the way you speak, how easy it is. When some people are speaking, it's like they're thinking about the next word to say. They don't have. When you say accent, like maybe I want to say
Yeah,
shush.
but
now.
even
And
that
maybe
diction,
I
for
say-
example, now.
I want to say church, I say shush.
But even that diction,
Your
for example,
diction is
now. But even that
important.
diction now, for example, me myself, I kind of like speak very fast. You understand? I speak
Mm-hmm.
very fast. People like, oh, you know what? My last podcast I did with you, people were like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want to just saying you are saying blah blah blah. I speak very fast, and sometimes when I'm speaking, look at how I'm rushing words. Look at the
Yeah.
words keep jumping on each other. But that is just it. I cannot come and say, okay, because people say I'm speaking fast. How are you today? How are people doing today? It just makes no sense to me. You get?
But that's you not trying to learn, because when
No,
you're speaking,
even
when
as
you're communicating,
no,
it's
even as
important to
that,
be
no, even as
coherent.
at that,
It's important
we have,
to be
we have.
coherent.
I think we have to
wrap up.
we have
this
to wrap up.
episode.
But I'm going to say one thing real quick. Please, if your child can speak pidgin very well at 2 years old, don't take what they're saying, please. If they can speak 2 years, they can grow up and still learn how to speak Queen's English and let the
At the end
diction.
of the day,
It
there
will not
always
affect
be people
them.
that are on Daniel's side. And there will always be
Definitely,
people that are
the
on my
right side, the right side,
But
the
at
right
end of the
side,
day,
and please discipline your child. Don't. I'm not saying carry bamboo and wipe your child's head. No. If your child messes up, if you want to smack the child so they can learn discipline. There's nothing wrong with that. Just know when it turns from discipline to abuse. That's the thing. Thank you very much.
all right, so we've heard from Daniel. At the end of the day, we are all going to be parents and we're all going to make our decisions for our children. But it's just important that while you're raising your kids, just remember that they might outgrow you. They might outgrow what you're showing to them or the environment that you have raised them in, and consider that when you're raising them. That's all I'm saying. And in the process of disciplining your child, let's try not to
diction.
abuse the child. That's very important too. So on this note, we have to call it a day. I hope
Thank
you've learned
you.
a thing or two from this, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.